Good evening, Knicks family. Welcome to the Queen Sport. This is my very first show. We're here to talk Knicks in a relaxed atmosphere and have a good time. I first want to shout out Sim. He asked me to be the host of this show. His aim, I think I got it right, was if we had a show where a female or woman was a host and we have female panelists, more women would be in the chat, more women would call in, more women would be on the panel. I know that there are women who listen to the show, but maybe they would feel more comfortable coming on the show, interacting in the chat. That being said, this show is for everybody. If you're a Knicks fan, this show is for you. Male, female, young, and old. It's a Knicks show. I just ask that we be respectful of the panel. It's not easy to be here prepping for this show. It's a lot of work. So just respect. Doesn't necessarily mean you can't share your opinion. I'm definitely open to that. But just respect, and also respect in the panel as well. I want to just talk about the Knicks NBK family of shows. We got you covered for all your Knicks content. And when I was going through this, I had to write it down, Sam. I had no idea it was this many. My understanding is that the host of these shows were either a host on NBK at one point in time, was inspired by the show. So we got you covered for all your New York Knicks content. You want to go elsewhere, that's your choice, but you don't have to. So let's start with the Nothing But Knicks channel. This show is on the Nothing But Knicks channel, hosted by Sam. And for those who don't know, Simeon Russell, big shout out to him again. We cover the Knicks extensively. For every Knicks game, there's a pregame show, there's a postgame show, and then the next day after you sleep on the Knicks and what happened, we have a morning shoot around. We got you covered. And there's other Knicks content as well. The Controversy with Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, is also on this channel. And of course, my show is now on this channel. Blanche Tears, I know I have correction officer friends and whoever who work overnight. Blanche Tears have the Knicks at Night show with Uncle Freezy. Then in the morning time, you driving to work, we got the morning drive. I'm telling you, we got you covered. Legion of Knicks, during the Knicks game, they have a watch along, right? So you can watch the Knicks with them. And also, if you into college plays in the draft, check out Legion of Knicks. There's a lot of videos on college prospects coming up. Then I'm not finished. At halftime of every Knicks show, check out Die Hard Knicks. He does a review of the first half of the Knicks game and what we need to do going into the second half. Knicks and Bruises with Tony Crow, where our Knicks, we get to share our fandom and kind of talk about what we like and don't like about the Knicks. Knicks Real Talk with Devon, who's also a panelist here the day of the game. He also has a show. Cooking with Chef Zay. I think it was on hiatus because we just got so much going on. I actually love that show where they're cooking and talking Knicks. And last but not least, Man, it's the Knicks with Ron Cleveland, who has a lot of content. I'm spreading love each week. So if I missed you, I will circle back next week. So let's get into it. I want to introduce Chris, one of the panelists, a friend of mine. I'm going to say over 20. I think it's been longer than that, but we're going to leave it at that. Big Knicks fan, back to Pat Riley days, so very knowledgeable. And if there's any other females out there, women listening to the show, hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to come on as a panelist, drop in the chat, call into the show. We'll love to have you. So last week, the Knicks played 4 games, Memphis, Toronto, the Lakers, and I'm missing one, New Orleans, Pelicans. And we won all 4, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that again. The Knicks played 4 games last week, and we won all 4. Prior to that, we were 0-3. And I got to tell you, I was having some doubts about the team. I was having some doubts about whether or not we would make the playoffs. I was having, people were saying, oh, we'll probably get the 10th seed. I was thinking we may not make it at all. Because I was looking at that, I was looking at Randall looking lethargic. I was looking at our schedule coming up. So I had some doubts. And this Knicks team, like they've been doing all along, they came through in spades and won all 4 games. Chris, talk to me a little bit about last week, the Knicks going 4-0. What's your thoughts?
I was very impressed how they showed up. They stick together. There was times that Randall was a facilitator and was not concerned about his points, but just kind of getting everybody where they needed to be. There was times that I wish he was a little selfish, but it seems like teams have his number now. They seems to be running like, doubles to him and stuff like that. They're really kind of breaking down on his little drive and spin. I thought he kind of got out of that, but it seems like he's still starting to do that a little more, maybe because he's a little tired or something, that he's driving and spinning to like pass out without really looking to see, where he's passing the ball to, which caused him a lot of turnovers in the last couple of games. I feel Rose kind of showed us some stuff, like some flashes of the old Rose. I really like that. Taj definitely has showed us a lot. I thought maybe he was just one of those just to fill in, do the little dirty work, but he started to score and, get some blocks or some key rebounds and stuff like that. So, the team has really been playing. Obi, I love Obi. I'm rooting for him. That's our rook. I seen some shades of him really stepping out and really stepping into what we thought he would be, and then there's times that he kind of seems like he's lost in the sauce, like he doesn't even know what's going on. So and also I think Quickly is really starting to rely a little bit too much on that floater. I think a lot of teams are starting to pay attention to that, so he's not really getting it off as easy. And also I think the refs are paying attention to him trying to get that and one call too. So I think a lot of them have to do some adjustment. They were doing some adjustment, but overall, I think they played a really good week last week.
Yeah, just to go over, coming into last week's game, we were 25-27, 2 games under 500. I wasn't able to find what our seeding was at that time. Yeah. After going 4-0, we're now 29-27, 2 games over 500 in the 6th seed. The thing, though, is that the other players, the other teams, also gained ground during that time. And I had a lot of stats, and then of course I can't find it. But Boston also went 4-0 that during that week. Atlanta went 3-1. Charlotte went 2-2. So, we won 4-0. We gained some ground, but those other teams, they're not going away. Anything else you want to say about last week before I move into the playoff seeding?
No.
Okay. All right. This segment, Nick family, we're going to talk about the playoffs, like a playoff watch each week, just where we are in the playoffs, what we need to do to gain ground or not lose ground. And I want to talk a little bit about the playing game. It took me some time actually to understand it. So I'm just going to throw that out a little bit for those who may not understand it. If you do, it's just a refresher. So right now, the Knicks are in the 6th seed. If the playoffs started today, we would play Milwaukee. Milwaukee is in the 3rd seed. Now, I always said, I want the Knicks to finish 1 through 6. We finish 1 through 6, we're guaranteed 4 playoff games. Well, we're guaranteed 4 playoff games, the best of 7. And we need that, I think. I want to see Randall in a playoff game. We have to make a contract decision. I don't want to base it just on the regular season. The playoffs is a different animal. I want to see Randall in the playoffs. I want to see RJ in the playoffs too, but we have some time to, as far as contract is concerned, to see him over and over and to see him grow. But Randall, we have to make a decision on him, not this year, I believe it was next year. But I still want to see him in the playoffs, and I want to see how he performs. So if we were to play Milwaukee, so this is what I wanted to say even before that. 1 through 6, you happy about it? But if you're the fourth or fifth or sixth seed, this is what you get for your success. Or you're going to get the Brooklyn Nets or the Philadelphia 76ers or the Milwaukee Bucks. So if we finish 1 through 6, that's going to be great for us. But it's going to be a tough matchup in the first in that first round. If the Knicks finish 7th or 8th, 7 and 8 plays each other, right? So if the Knicks finish 7th, they just got to win 1 game, and they're the 7th seed, right? If they finish 8th, they got to win 2. They got to win 2 games. Let me just get this. Let me just make sure I get this together. Yeah, if they win 8, they have to win 2 games in order to get the 7th seed. And I was wondering, why would 7 play 8? Well, what they're doing is they're giving you 2 chances. You play 8, you win that series, you automatically the 7th seed. But if you lose, you don't go home. You play the winner of 9-10, and that gives you another opportunity. If you win that series to get in under the 8th seed. So right now the Knicks are in the 6th seed. We would play Milwaukee. We beat Milwaukee twice. We played them 3 times. We beat them twice. I can't say, even though we beat them twice, that I would go into that series extremely confident. I think the first time we played them, it was a blowout. I don't think teams knew who the Knicks were at the time, and maybe we slid through, or maybe I'm not giving the Knicks enough credit. In the third game, they had their bench players. But a game is a game, and we won it. So I do think if we match up with them, it's going to be a different series. Chris, talk to me a little bit about the Knicks if they were to play Milwaukee in the first round.
Milwaukee is a tough team. Shoot, their bench gave us a hard time. So I can just imagine a healthy Giannis. I just feel that he turns into a different person in the playoffs. So the Knicks have to bring their A games, and sometimes we take quarters off. Sometimes we rely on a 3-ball too much instead of trying to go inside and get the and one calls and things of that nature. Try to get their big people in trouble. And the way our team is designed, we do have a lot of 3-point shooters. So I don't think you want to go into a shootout with Milwaukee. Because I don't think we'll win that portion. Because, like I said, when they had their bench players, they gave us a very hard time. I think that was probably the most 3-pointers that we've seen and we've played, thus far. So I'm not sure. Got about 50-50 with Milwaukee if we make it in the playoffs with them. Like it's probably gonna be a grind out, and if it's not a grind out, we're gonna have a tough time. We're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Knicks, obviously. I'm a big fan.
Exactly.
I think if we play Milwaukee, we might get a game. We might get a game. I think Milwaukee poses a problem for us in the sense that you have to pick your poison.
Yes.
You're going to crowd in the lane to try to slow down Giannis. What does that mean? That means the shooters are open, open, right? That puts a lot of pressure on your defense to be in the lane, to make sure he doesn't get to the basket and then run out and cover the shooters. And they have a lot of them. Even in center, Brook Lopez shoots the 3, right? Or you're going to cover the shooters and maybe even hedge halfway. But I just don't think that's enough for Giannis. Even if you hedge, one way and you get back, if you don't get back in perfect position, it could be a blocking foul. So I think Milwaukee poses a challenge for us. Things do slow down in the playoffs. And I noticed that over the past few years, Giannis has really struggled in the playoffs because that's the strategy teams has used, really plugging in the lane and really forcing him to shoot from the outside. And he's shooting the 3 a little better, but I would give him that all day before I would just allow him to go in the lane and also stop him from transition, because he's definitely a different player when he has a head of steam and he's dribbling down, coming at you, or when you're already set up in half court and now he's dribbling and trying to get into the lane. Let me just see in the chat. Just shout out to Josh in the chat, TK Gainey, Cully, Carlos S., Frankie Wells, Dell Sinclair. Shout out, thank you, Quindell Berry. Thank you so much. Brooklyn Belly for coming by and showing love. Kevin Bergen, Kerry Cox, G-Man for Life. Appreciate you. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody, but I definitely appreciate you all coming by. Yeah. And I also want to take some time to read the super chats. Kyle Williams. Kyle, man, I appreciate you. He DM'd me one day out of the blue and said that I should have a show. And I don't know, maybe like a week or so later, maybe him and Sam was together, cahoots. Maybe a week or so later, Sam asked me if I wanted to host the show. So shout out to Kyle Williams. He said, just want to support you, Queen Steph. You know how much I wanted this for you. Congratulations. Yeah. Appreciate you. G-Man for Life, thank you for the super chat. Great to see you hosting, Queen. Congrats and wishing you much success. Thank you. I appreciate you. Afro Vegetti, the Queen, big ups. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I think there's one more. Yes, TA Basketball. Steph, a.k.a. the GOAT on this show. I appreciate it. Shout out to NBK family, Knicks fan from Montreal, Canada. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. And listen, feel free to, some of the segments are going to change. We're going to do the weekend review every week. We're going to do the playoff push every week. And definitely talk a little bit about our upcoming slate of games. The segments in the middle can change. So if there's anything you want to talk about, I'm going to read the chat afterwards. Put your suggestions in there. And hey, and JD, I appreciate you. Always supporting. All right. Let's move on. So even though I would say if the Knicks are 1 through 6, just to get back to the playoffs real quick, they would play a tough team. I want that. I want that 4-game playoff series. I want to see us in that type of atmosphere. That's going to give us a lot of information to build off in the off season. Would you agree, Chris?
Definitely. And definitely let us see how, what toughness Randall has, I mean, he's been having an awesome season, but, it doesn't really translate if you can't have that same season in the playoffs. So I definitely want to see how he handles that, being our sole all-star this year. And, I just want to see him show up and let us see if he's, he's what we should build around.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I want to see. I think so. Don't disappoint me, Randall.
For real.
All right. I'm going to get into the next segment called Stock Up, Stock Down, but I'm going to have to change the name. When I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to pick a player who's played pretty well over the past 4 games, somebody who's not played that well. But what I found was somebody would play well for 2 games, and I'd be like, okay, this is the guy who's going to be stock up, and then he would not have a great game in the 3rd or 4th game, and vice versa. This guy's playing terrible. I'm going to put him on the stock down right now, lock this in, and then he'll go and have a good game for us. So what I decided that I want to do with this segment is just talk a little bit about something I've seen in a player that's positive, that I like, that I think is helping us. And then, not to be too negative, but, if I see some things in a player that I'm not liking too much, I have concerns about, to talk about that. And then, Chris, you could do the same. I want to shout out Taj. He's played 29 games for us. He's averaging 20.8 minutes per game, 5 points, 5 rebounds. Might not seem like a lot, but if you watch this guy, he knows how to play basketball. He's always in the right position. He's getting the tough rebounds. He's getting the timely blocks. Every once in a while, he'll hit a 3 or he'll hit a short jumper. But what I like about him is that he knows his role. He's not trying to do too much.
Exactly.
He knows what his role is. He knows what he's supposed to do. And he comes in and he's giving us those minutes. Last game, because I was like, Tibbs is being a bit more flexible. So last game, Taj started. I said, whoa, like Tibbs is really, he's really being flexible, but I didn't know that Noel couldn't go that game. And that's why Taj got the start. But he played well for us. This guy is a pro. Talk to me about Taj or any other player that you noticed over this last 4 games.
I think Tibbs went out and got Taj because he needed that guy. He needed his guy. Just like he went out to get Rose, he needed his guys to kind of anchor this offense and this defense. Taj is just going to give you that. He's going to give you the rebound. He's going to give you that putback. He's going to give you that defense on that big. I really like how he's playing now because he's stepping up, scoring a little more. Something that we probably wasn't really expecting of him. Just kind of like go in there, play the defense on the big and get the rebound. So I definitely like what I'm seeing in him now. I just wish he wouldn't try to like block everything because he kind of puts us in a bind because he's in foul trouble and it's like, come on, we don't have nobody else to come in now. Let him shoot that. Another person I'm kind of impressed with is Burks. With the beginning of the season, I used to be like, why is he in the game? Like, oh my God, he can't hit the side of a barnyard. And then he turned into like a mini Allen Houston. That shot was sweet and dropping. I was like, wait, that shot is pretty. And then when we had the point guard controversy, he stepped up to take that role, which, was something that probably kept him on the team because I think he was probably mentioned in a couple trade rumors as well, packaged up. And I think once he kind of stepped up and manned up to that role and started showing some leadership, I think he was like 4 or 5 games in a row, 20 points. I was like, okay, I like this works. Yeah, so those are the 2 people that probably stand out for me right now. They really do. It seems like Bullock, he's being that consistent guy, hitting that crucial shot we need, playing that crucial D. So I like him too. Those are probably my top 3 right now.
Yeah, definitely Burke. I think in the beginning, I was having problems with him. He just seemed like he was just dribbling all through the defense with his head. I'm like, what you trying to do?
Yeah.
But right now he's playing good for us and he's hitting those clutch shots and we need it. He's out from what I understand due to COVID protocol. And I think that's going to hurt us going into all of these games are crucial.
Is it the
right
COVID
now.
Protocol or is it something else?
From what I understand, it's the COVID protocol. They can't say whether somebody is positive or not. It could just be contact tracing or what have you. I'm not exactly
You see what it
sure.
did to Rose? It took him a minute to get back together.
Well, he actually had COVID. I'm hoping that this is not the case, but we don't know. The other player I want to talk on the other side that I'm having a bit of a problem with, and I'm going to preface what aspect of this game, but I'm going to preface this by saying, look, Randall is our best player, no doubt about it. I wasn't as down on him last season as a lot of people and fans were. I love this guy. I love his grind. I love the work that he puts in. I love his commitment. I love his approach to the game. These last few games, I really need him to get better passing out of the double team. Yes, he's getting fouled a lot as well, but I just need him to be better in that regard. But this is what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about that shot when he's on the right box. It's a turnaround, fadeaway jumper where he's fading out of bounds, almost shooting it from behind the backboard. Like, I call it the fade to black shot. In my opinion, that's just a turnover. I think that when they pass you the ball, if you got to take that shot, you should just hand it to the other team and let's just go down and set up on defense. The percentage, what is the percentage that he's going to make this shot? I don't think I've ever seen him make that shot. And I don't know if he's taking it a lot, but he's taking it more than I would like. And obviously, he's on the right box. He's left-handed. If you're going to take a fadeaway, you are going to drift. I don't know. I've seen people take fadeaways and not really drift out of bounds. Like he's drifting out of bounds. So that's the part. I've seen it a few times. Randall, I know you're not listening, but if any of your peoples are listening, I would like you to if you're gonna take it, don't fade so far.
But we take what we practice, Steph. You know that he probably practicing that. That's probably think that's his shot. It probably goes in practice. Who knows? But it's not working for us. It's not working in the K.
If you practice, if that's the shot you practicing,
but you take what you practice. All right. I mean, they practice threes, and it doesn't work, but I just don't really understand. I think he's gotten to a point where he feels that everything he throws up, it should either go in or he should go to the free throw line, because he's doing a lot of talking to the refs. And it's just sometimes he takes himself out of the play and they wind up scoring on the other end because he's back arguing with the refs. I mean, I come from old school. You already know. No blood, no foul. So let's go.
Right. But do you think he's gotten better in that regard, though? I know there was a tie, especially around the Brooklyn Nets game and maybe a game or so after that. And I would say rightfully so, when he was really getting into the refs. Do you think it's calmed down some?
It has, but there's still some plays that, that's kind of questionable. And I get it. I think the trajectory of the ball falling, I could say, yeah, that probably was a fall. But then sometimes he kind of forcing it to kind of get the call. So I don't really know. And plus, the refs already have his number. They know he's going to argue every call. So I don't know if it's some of them just turning him off or they just really want to see, like I said, the trajectory of the ball goes a different way from what it's going. I'm not really sure. But
right. I mean, I definitely think. Well, let me get to a few super chats. Jonathan JD, congratulations, first episode. Everyone after this will be better as you get used to it. I really hope so, man. People don't know how difficult it is. That is the truth. Great start, Jonathan. JD, I did see that you're starting your channel. I did subscribe. And I'm looking forward to the first episode, first show. JD again, appreciate you. Steph and Chris, who are your fave Knicks players and why? Let me read the other super chat and then we will read. That is a great question. Brooklyn Belly, refreshing insight and content from the sisters. Thank you, Brooklyn Belly. Appreciate you. Ooh. Yeah, let's take a break and answer that question. Your listeners.
Want me to go first?
Yes, you go first.
I'm kind of a bad boy, Nick. So I got a couple, of course, Mace. I love Mace. I love the point forward. I love the fact that you were not gonna lay up anything if he was around you. I like that. I like Spree. Spree gave it. He gave it. He talked it. He'll fight you. I like that. Not that that's what we want to do, but I just think that, when we had that defense that people were fearful of, especially when we came with the black socks and the black sneakers that year, it was just, like everybody was scared to come on to the Knicks. I definitely like Starks, especially when he threw it on Jordan and Horace Grant. And, just that was just, that era. And that defense with Oak and, all of those guys. I mean, I could even take it back to Xavier McDaniels when he was terrorizing the paint, So I got a couple, but, most of them are the bad ones, the ones that really put the little fear to come in the paint, Those are my guys,
That's a good point. All right. I was only going to pick one, but I see you picked a few. Definitely Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing, that's my guy.
Yours number two.
Yeah, that was number two. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's Patrick Ewing. He gave it everything he had every time he stepped on the floor. I thought he shot, more jump shots than I wanted him to, but he could shoot. He could shoot. He was making them at a good clip. I just liked his approach to the game. That's my guy. I loved him. Other than that, I would say, like you said, the group of players, that group during that time, the Oakleys, the Starks, the Mace, those guys, it just wasn't happening. He was not coming in the lane.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
not safe, Steph.
yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't even safe if it hit the board. Sometimes it had already hit the board for a layup, and they would still foul you. Um, yeah, I definitely missed that. And I think with this team, even though you could say that the defense is similar, you don't have that
No, we don't.
enforcer. We don't, because there's been a few times when RJ, I want to say IQ, but a few other other team was kind of chippy with them, and nobody really came because the Knicks, they would just come over for GP, and the other was like, "Oh, I wasn't saying, I was just asking how he was doing. Or you want to go out after the game, whatever." It's like, nah, you was too close. So that's how that Knicks team was. If it looked like there was a problem, somebody was stepping in, and I wish we had that. I wish we had that on this team. So hopefully that answers your question, JD. I'm gonna get one more super chat before I get into the rookie watch, or as Clyde would say, the precocious fight. All right, Kevin Cornerstone, who's on the chat on the panel. Congrats to sisters Stephanie and Chris. Your knowledge is beautiful. Love and dunks, Cornerstone Kev.
Love and dunks.
Yeah. I mean, that's just. If you don't, I know there's a lot of people here who I invited who may not, this may be your first time, tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. My show is on the Nothing But Knicks channel, along with Josh Controversy show. And then obviously Simeon Russell, his content going back for years. So please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button if you want to be notified when I go live, when Nothing But Knicks goes live, when Josh goes live. Appreciate you. All right. Let's do the rookie watch. We only have two, Obi and IQ. I just want to set this up a little bit. I went back to college.
Okay.
Obi played at Dayton University 3 years. First year he sat out, then he played 2 years. That first year, 14.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, took 21 threes and made 11, which is why his percentage was kind of high, 52.4, but he only took 21 of them. That second year, 20 points, 7.5 rebounds, took 82 threes, made 32 of them for 39%. Knicks drafted him. This year, he's averaging 4.1 points, 2.2 rebounds, and 11.4 minutes per game. I mean, we could get into Obi overall, but I do want to say over this past week and maybe even 2 weeks, he's looked more settled to me.
Yeah.
I don't know this year if stats is going to tell the story for him. He's just not getting those minutes and he doesn't deserve them, right? And I know people would disagree with me about that. But so since stats is not going to tell the story for him, I just want to see how comfortable he feels in the offense. I want to see the shots that he's taken. I want to see, just how he operates in the flow of the offense. And for the past week or two, he's actually looked better. And I'm actually encouraged by that. Because prior to that, he just looked he looked worse than he did the first, month or two. He just went through a stretch where I don't know if his confidence was shaken. I'm not sure what it was, but he really, really looked bad. The shots he was taking, air balls. I mean, it was a mess. But the past week or two, actually, Obi has looked better on the court. I don't think his stats reflected. He's not getting a lot of minutes. I think one game over the past 4 games, he may have gotten 14 minutes. After that, it was much less than that. But that's what I want to see actually for the rest of the season. Just his defense improving, his offense improving. If he could get us a few rebounds, that would be great. But what's your take on Obi? And since this is our first show, you could talk a little bit about the season and if you noticed anything over the past week or two.
Okay. That's our rook. So, I love it. I love the pick and everything. I think initially he was very nervous You know, because Tibbs can be kind of intimidating. You get the ball as soon as in your hand, Obi, you know, so you can hear him on the TV. So, you know, I think he was kind of scared to really mess up. And I think that he was in his head a little bit. And I think Rose coming to the team was probably a blessing because he was able to talk to him and get him to calm down a little bit. Like, look, you know, play your game. And, you know, when I see you, I'll get you the ball because, you know, that's when he started to get comfortable. Like he started with Rose came in, he started really trying to feel himself and try to get his shot. And he was trying to drive to the basket. You know, there was a dunk he did one time. And I was like, okay, I think he's ready. And I think it's more or less once he kind of gets comfortable, once Tibbs, you know, kind of releases the reins on him a little bit. Because like I said in the beginning, every time the man touched the ball, he's like, oh man, you know, you could hear him on the TV. And I think Clyde made a comment one time. It's like, you know, Tibbs is on Obi, you know, like, so I just really think that he's probably going to need to go to a big man's camp or something like that just to kind of get a feel because it's a different game from college. So I think he really needs to find his niche, you know, get him one or two moves that kind of, you know, patent it and definitely, you know, definitely build on those two moves. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get on Obi too much, but I will say this. Coming out of college, I thought the Knicks drafted him because they thought he would be able to help us right now. You know, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 10 points, 4, whatever it is. I feel like if you're gonna get somebody who needs just as much development as Obi does, then you could have went with somebody that was 19 years old. That was, you know, if they were going to come in on the same footing and need the same development, then I would have went with the younger guy. You know, to be honest, was happy about Obi for that reason. I just felt, and think about if he was able to do that. Look at Randall. I mean, Randall, look how many minutes he plays. Sometimes he needs, you know, a rest. If Obi was that guy right now and Obi was able to give us, you know, 15 or 20 solid minutes, you know, where you was getting 12 points, 8 points, 6 points, you know, 4, 5, 6 rebounds, whatever it is, that would help us tremendously. Randall would rest a little bit, you know, but Tibbs is a trust guy. If he don't trust you, you could forget it. And I think at this point, he's going to have to wait till next season. I don't think his minutes is going up.
I think he got his vets late too. I think sometimes for rookies, especially when you come in such a high pick, you need that seasoned vet to kind of like, you know, help you with your workout and your game. And like, you know, when you're playing this person, you should do that. I think he has that now in Taj and Rose. So I think he's going to be okay. But if he would have had them a little earlier, I think we probably would have seen like what you're saying right now to him, maybe 8 and 8 or something like that. Just those time, you know, just coming in and making contributions as opposed to being yelled at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he would have, if he had Taj a little earlier, I think he would have been all right. But he, like I said, he definitely needs some work during the summer. And I hope he takes advantage of it. And, you know, I'm excited about next year with him.
Yeah, I'm not questioning his work ethic. I think he is a worker. And I definitely think he may even make the biggest, leap next year. He got the longest way to go, though.
He do. He do. He got trial and error, you know.
I just want to give a shout out to Ron Cleveland. Man, it's the Knicks for his super chat. This is beautiful to watch. I appreciate you. I mean, the love, I appreciate it. You know, I just want to make sure, okay, I didn't miss any other anything else. I want to talk a little bit about the other rookie, IQ, out of Kentucky. I hope I got this right, but he didn't play much his first year. Came back the second year, didn't start. Then he became part of a 3-guard rotation and actually ended up as the conference player of the year. There's actually not a lot of difference between his stats his second year in college and his first year in the NBA. I was kind of surprised about that. So his second year in college, it was 16.1 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 43% from 3, 41% from 2, and 92% from the line. This year, 11.7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3-point percentage is down 38%. 2-point field goals about the same, 40. Wasn't good then, not great now. And 90% free throw shooter. And I was kind of surprised. I mean, you do expect some ups and downs as a rookie. But for me, what that says is that he's just playing his game. He's just doing the same thing he did, in college for the most part, and he letting it fall where it falls. I will say, I was not the biggest fan of IQ, and so when everybody is a fan and you're not really a fan, you just kind of, lay low a little bit and, let's see how this, goes. Because I thought that this guy's taking floaters from the free throw line instead of a mid-range jumper. Mm-hmm. He's dribbling all around, not playing within the flow of the offense, hoisting up shots. When he hit them and he scored 20, he helped us win. That was great. The other times, not so great. And I was like, what is going on? What is going on here? And however, now, and he's not scoring as much points now, and I know people say, oh, he hit the rookie wall, he's not scoring as much point. If you look at him now, he looks to me like a basketball player. Yeah. Playing within the flow of the offense, the shot comes to you, he hits it to him, he hits it. If he doesn't have it, he passes it. He still takes his floater, but it seems to be closer to the basket. He's still, trying to get that foul. The refs aren't giving it to him, but nothing like he was in the beginning of the season. So I'm actually liking what I'm seeing out of IQ now, even though he may not be scoring as much. Talk to me a little bit about IQ, what you think about him.
I think you're right. In the beginning, I think he was trying to find his way. He's trying to find his niche. So he was really playing erratic. It wasn't until he took over the point guard position that he really started to kind of come into his own and kind of figure out what was going on. And I think because he had almost like I was telling a friend of mine, like a Jeremy Lin type thing where teams didn't really know what to expect. So he was able to score the 20, 30 points and stuff like that because they didn't know he was scoring in so many different ways. And he was getting those and one calls. I think once people started to play him to what his strengths were, he had to find ways to score differently. And I think that's probably where he is now. And I think probably Roses has been a big impact on him too, as telling him try to find his game and not try to do too much and stuff like that. And probably Tibbs, because Tibbs is hard on the rook. So I think he really needs to just kind of allow his shot to go with the flow, because a lot of times I felt like that his shots were not in tune with what they were trying to do, or kind of rushed, or he was chucking. Basically, he was trying to get his own points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to score this point, and I think he's learning where to pick his spots. I'm kind of confused if he's a point guard, a shooting guard, a combo guard, because once he solidifies what role he wants to play or where Tibbs want him, I think that he'll be okay because he can shoot and he knows how to get his shot off. I just think he needs to find out in the flow of how to get his shots and how to get other people involved too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think he's getting there. I definitely see improvement from the beginning of the season to now. So now I'm a little more of a fan of IQ, and his.
I just want him to fix his shorts because sometimes I think they're a little too high. Like, I don't know. That's just they sit a little on top of his stomach when he coming. He got this little quirky walk too, and I'm like, I don't know. Listen, as long as he can get us some points and get us some wins, I try not to pay attention, but he do tie his shorts a little high. I know I'm not the only one now.
You probably not. Okay. JD had another question. Well, let me just get to. It was a shout out. Let's see. Old head. Salute to Queen's Court. Appreciate you. Thank you for dropping by. Hopefully, it won't be the first time. We're gonna do this every week. The show is gonna get better and better, and things are gonna change up. And hopefully, there's females. I say females opposed to women because it might be like a 16 or 17-year-old that wants to hop on the show, So if you're a female, you want to hop on the show, hopefully you see, we talking Knicks, we spreading love. giving our takes, and you'll feel comfortable enough to at least be in the chat if you don't want to be on the panel. Shout out to, I hope I get this right, Raheem 718. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. JD. Oh boy. All right, JD. Chris, he said, well, let me just go to Manny USPS. Welcome to being a member. Appreciate you. JD said, Chris, tell us a little bit about you. How did you connect with Steph and what made you join? How did you become a Knicks fan? You know your hoops. That's like 15 questions.
Word, that's a lot. I'm gonna try to break it down for you. Actually, I played basketball at City College. Stephanie and I were actually teammates my freshman year. I think she was a junior. You was a junior that year, right?
I was a junior.
And she wound up being my coach like my junior year, and it was like it was. It was a trying time because your friend, and now this is your coach, and you doing. What you thinking is the good pass or the good shot, and he's like, "Look, you better come sit over here. Let's talk about that." That's where our relationship started. We spent a lot of time. I think I spent a lot of time at her house. She probably didn't want me there, but I showed up at her doorstep every weekend. I'm from the Bronx originally. Right now, I'm assistant director at a shelter for young adults. I've been a Knicks fan since probably I was little. My dad watched the Knicks, so I used to sit and watch the Knicks. So I came up with the Ernie Grunfeld, the Pat Cummins, and those people, the what's his name, Gerald Wilkins, all that crew.
And stuff.
Yeah, the Animal, the Bannister. I came up around that era, so I've been following the Knicks a long time. I was so happy when the Knicks finally beat Chicago. To finally beat Chicago, only for Patrick Ewing to get hurt. That's struggling through that championship. But like I said, I love the bad boys. So those are the guys that I resonate to. And I've been a fan ever since. I'm just ready, as everybody is ready to see the Knicks get into the playoffs and create some noise. And I think we got a good chance this year. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
I think so. JD. All right. All right. So we actually are coming down the stretch. The last thing, we're just going to briefly go over the upcoming week. If you subscribe to the Nothing But Knicks channel, you know that Simeon Russell, for those that don't know, goes through each of these games in detail, right? So this is going to be just a quick overview. Do the pregame show, break it down. Sim is a coach, so he breaks it down in terms of what we need to do to win this game, to win the game. Then we watch the game, then we come back after the game is over, like maybe 15 minutes after the game is over, and we break down what they actually did, whether it was a win, whether it was a loss. Then we sleep on it. If you play basketball, you understand that. The next day you have the morning shoot around, right? And that's what we do. We come back the next day, and after having slept on it, we talk about, with cooler heads, level heads, what do the team needs to do going forward? So because we do that, this is just going to be brief. I would say to come back and that's if the Knicks play 4 games, that's 12 shows. I'm telling you, I don't know how you do it, Sam. I don't know how these other content creators do it. This is one show, and I was up to the right until like 4:59 trying to get another stat. But shout out to you guys. Okay, so the upcoming week, tonight we play the Mavs, and that's on ESPN. That's a nationally televised game. The Mavs, if you don't know, play in the Western Conference. They're 30-24. Over their last 10, they're 7-3. So they're on a good roll. I thought I had here where they were their last 3, but that's fine. If you well, I guess everybody wasn't on the show, so we'll talk about it briefly. We played them. We lost to them 99-86 at the Garden on April 2nd. So this is our second time playing them. We will be in Dallas. From what I understand, Luka's playing over there. KP is playing. Tim Hardaway is playing. And we're going to be without Burke. So I think that's going to be a tough game for us. Chris, just briefly, what do you think about us going against the Mavs tonight?
It's going to be a tough game. They definitely have their top guns ready. And, we're down one of our people that, kind of put us in spots. So, we're going to have to grind it out today. I go for the underdog, that's me. So I want to go for the Knicks, but this is going to be a tough game. So I'm thinking it's going to be a grind out, fight out. So I think we're going to lose this one. Yeah. I think we're going to lose this one. I tried to give it to them, but, you got Luka, you got KP, and, he probably trying to prove something because he didn't really play too well the last time. So, they have some stuff they have to, Timmy, he's going to show up today. So I think it's going to be hard in Dallas today.
Yeah, I agree. Sunday, we play the New Orleans Pelicans again. We just beat them. I think it's going to be a tough game. It's hard to beat a team I think, 2 games in a row. And that's actually not 2 games in a row, but pretty close together. That game is at home. They also play in the Western Conference. Then we play the Hornets. The Hornets are 27-27. They are currently in the 8th seed. Their rookie LaMelo Ball went down, and they were still holding it down without him. They were still playing pretty well. Then Hayward went down, and I think that was a bit much for them. I think over the last, they're 4-6 over the last 10, and I think they were 1-3, if I'm not mistaken, over the last 4. So they're taking a bit of a dive, and hopefully the Knicks can take advantage of it. Yeah. Over the last 5 games, they're scoring 108.7 points, and they're giving up 109.5.
Wow.
I mean, we have our own issues, so it may not even matter what they're doing defensively. But that's a game that we need. I want to say we played them earlier in the season and we lost. We lost to them 88-101. Yeah, they've been 1-3 over the last 4. So we definitely need this game. Any game in the conference with the teams that we're fighting with, we definitely need it. Then I think it's next Friday, before we meet again, we'll play the Hawks. The Hawks are 30-26. They've created some separation. I think with the coaching change, they've taken well to the new coaching, and they've pretty much taken off. I think at one point, I want to say at one point they weren't even in the top 10. I'm not sure about that. But right now they're sitting in the 4th seed, 30-26, with a nice little cushion. Actually,
I think they got a big pickup. Then they get Lou Williams. Didn't they get Lou Williams? I think that was a good pickup for them. That kind of helped them out for their leadership in scoring. So
yes,
that's going to be a tough game too.
That's going to be a tough game as well. We beat them though the first 2 games, but I think both of those games were before the coaching change. I'm not sure, but we beat them on January 4th, and then we beat them February. I'm actually looking forward to this game. Over the last 5. They score 114 points, but they give up 115.6 points. I don't know why. I thought Atlanta would be a better defensive team, especially with Nate McMillan taking over. But you got to have the personnel. You got to have the personnel. It's not just the coach. You have to have the personnel to be able to play good defense. So what would you say over the upcoming week? Give me your predictions: 4-0, 2-2. We got the Mavs, Pelicans, Hornets, Hawks.
I'm gonna go with 2-2. I'm gonna go with 2-2. I just feel that there's gonna be a couple teams um that we're really going to have to struggle with. We're going to have to fight. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, even though we have a couple teams that's going to be without some of their key players, we have to take advantage of that. And a lot of times we don't take advantage of that. Like, against Milwaukee, their team, their bench players, pushed us to the wire. So, just by looking at that game, I hope it's not a repeat. And that's probably why I'm giving it a 2-2. Yeah, I think we're going to go 2-2.
Yeah, I want to say 3-1. I think we're going to beat the Hawks, and I think we're going to beat the Hornets, and we need those games.
Yeah.
But I feel really good about our chances going in. Even though the Hawks are 7-3 over their last 10, I still feel good. If Burks is back. If Burks is not back, maybe 2-2. But I'm going 3-1. But the Hornets and the Hawks, those two games that we really need, I think we're gonna get that. Well, Knick family, I am going to take my basketball and I am leaving the court. Let me see if I missed any super chats. I don't think I did, but I do want to give some shout outs. Royal Brown, Hulit Samuel, Carlos S, BX Jetty 76. Knicks Real Talk with my guy Devon. When you're a lady, you can't say my man. You gotta say my guy. I'm getting it. Warren Franklin, Hewitt Samuel, Defoe, Daniel Massini, all of you guys, all of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. We'll be back next week, pretty much with the same segments, obviously different games, different takes. And hopefully by that time, somebody else will want to join us. Hopefully Chris can come back. And then hopefully we'll have, some other females or ladies or women want to be on the panel. Chris, any last words?
No, I just want to thank you and Sim for the opportunity. I have fun. I love talking about the Knicks, At least now I'm not fighting with people trying to, I got people that's on my side.
Right.
Because, we get Knicks fans have a hard time.
Like, you still a Knicks fan? You still a Knicks fan?
Everybody jumping to Brooklyn, and every time they get somebody caught, you see what Brooklyn just did, right? You still a Knicks fan? Yes, I'm still a Knicks fan.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Knicks family, that is it. Thank you so much for coming by and spending your time with us. We'll see you next week. Peace and love.
That's the